Hello, everyone. This is my program, No Credit, No Problem. I'm basically just going to be telling you how I got really good credit from having no credit by getting a secured credit card, because I never liked the idea of getting into debt, or I didn't like the idea of having no credit at all. So before I just jumped into anything, I wanted to look at my options and see what was the best way, so I'm not in any situation where I have bad credit or all the other bad situations that comes with being in debt. I think there was one time that I applied for a Target credit card, and I didn't know that it put a hard inquiry on my credit report. I never even knew what that was until I got Credit Karma. Credit Karma kind of shows you what your credit would be like from all the other things that you've done to your account. So you could just download the app Credit Karma on your phone or on your device, any device you have, and it just asks you, for an email address and a password, and it automatically creates you an account. And it asks you some personal things like your address, your name, of course, and then the last four of your social. And then it asks you other questions, and then it creates you an account. And what's really nice about having Credit Karma is it doesn't affect your actual credit score. Like if you were to go to a bank and ask them to get you a credit check, because if you do that, then it will affect your credit score, unfortunately. So it provides you with your credit score, or a good estimate of what your credit score would be with all your accounts through the bank. And it's all for free, which is really nice. It also tells you a bunch of information about credit, which is where I'm getting a lot of this information from. Like they show 6 things that have high impacts, medium impacts, or low impacts. And the first thing is payment history, whether like you've been really good with making payments, or if you don't have any credit history at all, it wouldn't really affect you. It tells you that the credit card utilization is really a really high impact. And I think it said 10% to 29% of your credit cards or your secured credit cards, whatever, is the best amount like that you're supposed to utilize. So you don't want to go and use the full amount. If you put a certain amount in, let's say your credit limit's $500. You don't want to go and use $500. You only want to use 10 to 29% to be in the best range. Derogatory marks are high impact, meaning that if you forgot to make a payment or something, that's why it's best to set up automated payments. So you really want to avoid getting derogatory marks. Age of credit history, that's one thing that I was really afraid of, is starting too late. Some people say it takes 7 years to build credit, but I believe when they said that to me, they meant after you've had a bad remark or a derogatory mark on your account. Total accounts is a low impact, and hard inquiries are low impact as well. So I didn't even know when I applied for that Target credit card that it impacted my account, but I didn't know. I didn't get approved for it, luckily, because I wouldn't have even known what to do with it. Credit Karma, it also shows like a graph of your credit health, which is really nice because it shows how it's improved or how it's decreased and why over the years, or over the amount of time that you've had it. And it also shows you approval odds for like future credit cards or future accounts that you could possibly apply for. And I found it very useful because whenever I want, I can go and check it and it won't affect me at all. So whenever I think that, something's happened to my credit, it'll tell me. It's linked to all your accounts, which is your bank accounts, which is really nice because it'll tell you that you've done very well at, this bank or this bank, you qualify for this credit card. Anyway, that leads me to the secured credit card. I didn't just want to get a regular credit card because, like I said, it's kind of like borrowing money that's not yours. And the secured credit card, it's like credit cards, but without the burden of debt. So what you have to do is basically you give the bank money, minimum of $200. In my case, I gave $500, and I applied for the secured credit card. Banks normally like secured credit cards better, like the approval odds for you are better if you have like no credit or bad credit, because like it reduces the risk to the issuer, which does make the approval odds higher, because if you don't pay back your credit or your secured credit card, they can just take that money from your deposit that you originally made. And usually the cash deposit is the amount of the card. So like in my case, I gave $500 and I got approved. So they gave me a card that has a limit of $500. And it works exactly like a credit card, which is really nice because I pretend it is. It affects your credit score and everything. And it's like borrowing money from myself. So I'll go use the credit card, and in my US Bank mobile app, it'll tell me, okay, you've used this much. And then it'll tell you the date that you have to pay it and stuff, which is really nice. And you will only have an interest fee if you have an outstanding balance. But I pay it like a normal credit card. I normally pay it off because I don't like having a balance at all. Just worries me. And another thing is, if you were to cancel this card, it wouldn't have as big of an impact on your account if you were to cancel a regular unsecured credit card. And if you have no credit or bad credit, this is like one of the best options recommended, because unsecured credit cards, if you have no credit or bad credit, have really high interest rates or fees, which is good to avoid because you don't want to, put more money into it than you need to. And some secured credit cards at banks, they offer like a certain process that you can go through. Like, let's say you have the secured credit card for like a year and your credit's good now, you've proved yourself that you're worthy of paying on time. They have ways to move that secured credit card line to an unsecured line. But I personally just like to think in my head that I'm only borrowing from myself. I started off with not technically no credit or like a zero credit, like bad credit. I didn't start off at anything. And my credit went up super high right away. And I've just been trying to maintain it, and it's slowly, gradually going up, which is what I wanted. And and then Credit Karma just tells you everything, like what to avoid, what to try and do, just to get good credit, which is what I've been aiming for. And eventually, like, I'll get more accounts, and that'll help benefit my credit, which is what I've been wanting. And it just looks good overall if you want to get a loan for a mortgage or just anything in general. It looks really good on your account that you make payments very on time, and just all the other things that I listed earlier. It looks very well, and you're most likely to get approved for a lot more things if you have better credit. So I highly recommend the secured credit card. There's also things like secured loans. I don't know much about those. That's why I'm not going to talk too much about them, but there's other options. And if you ever you have any questions, you can always ask me. But yeah, that's about it.